Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Tzef?
I am wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I feel great. I think we can start our interview from the first question. So, you are working as an actress, and if I'm not mistaken, your project, last work was Swimming Home, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So, can you tell us your experience?
Um, it was a British, Brazilian, and Greek production shot here in Greece, and the director Justin Anderson was very cool, actually. So I loved working on that and being a character that is so of my aesthetic as well. It's pop. It's uh, it's like a little bit like Pony Boy. The character is called Pony Woman. She is the host and the founder of a theme park called Ponyland. And I'm a dominant person by nature. I'm just like, I guess I'm a little bit like my mother, dynamic. So they trained me on how to groom giant horses and ponies, and it was very, I've never done that. I've never done horse riding. So I really realized how important it is to be in touch with your body and your power,
Mm-hmm.
and to actually be caring of such like a giant animal with such big muscles. It's empowering, but it's also a big sense of responsibility. I really enjoyed doing that. Mm.
And besides career as an actress, we also saw you in music videos. And let's talk about After the After Party by Charlie XX. Do you have some details to say about it?
Yeah. So I've known Charlie, and I've known like all the cool, hip, young celebrities. Now Charlie's major. She's really big, but at the time, she wasn't she wasn't as famous, and sh- there were a bunch of kids. LA doesn't have a strong culture, doesn't have the concept of a square where everyone meets and socializes. So everyone is kind of like moving and living in their own group of people. So I'm a very social extrovert person, and I would have multiple friends and companies, and one of them was this young pop musicians and pop stars, and they were, PC Music, A.G. Cook, and Dorian Electra, all that uh, genre of artists are supporting each other and living in Los Angeles. You have a genuine friendship as well. It's not just, because I wasn't working as a pop star. I've never made music. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
a music creator. So we're just hanging out. And Charlie's a person who's always loved to um, communicate and bridge her artistry with communities. So I guess I was some sort of um, a member of the people she admired and she wanted to collaborate with. And she invited me multiple times on live concerts and music videos. It's basically still, she still does the same. Now it's Julia Fox. Back then it was Gabriette. I think she still collaborates with Gabriette. But, that's how I met Charlie. And we literally met at after parties, and my first feature in one of her music videos was called After the After Party, ironically. So there were these parties like at 7 or 8 a.m., which is basically sunrise zone. And, people are very loose, and Kim Petras is there, and Sophie is there, and that's the picture.
Yeah. So how uh did you start your relationship with Sophie?
Yeah, we had some common friends from multiple backgrounds because I studied in London and we had common friends from England and we had common friends from LA because Sophie's grandmother is from Beverly Hills, and as a kid, she was always taking vacations in the States. So I met her for the first time at the music video set for After the After Party. She had seen me before multiple times in stories of social media stories of common friends from different backgrounds, more like art school and academic activism world. So it wasn't just from the pop world. I would say we had many common friends from different types of background, more art oriented. So she knew of me. I actually I didn't connect the dots when I saw her, but I had heard a lot of stories about Sophie. So we had a common friend who was always, telling me stories about, because they were best friends, about this person called Sophie, and they're transitioning, and they're really amazing in what they do, and they were playing music. But at the time that I met her on set, I didn't connect the information to the person. So I met her there, and I thought she was a model. I didn't know she was producing the song, and that's why she was there.
Mm-hmm.
So she came in, and she came late, and I was pissed. I was like, "You're late." That was the first thing I told her. Uh, so uh, yeah, she was beautiful with a pink puffy jacket and a um, curly fringe red head, and she had an amazing aura and presence in the room. She would fill the room. She wasn't someone who would enter a room and people wouldn't be affected by the visual, the energy.
Um, we, the Sophie community, actually have some questions, and they are closely related to Sophie and you together.
Hmm.
So let's start
Yeah,
from the first question.
yeah.
Um, the whole world saw you and Sophie on Grammys, and how did you prepare, or what were your expectations for the Grammys?
Well, we had started our collaboration and our coexistence because we were partners in life. We were
Mm-hmm.
lovers, we were business partners, we were obsessed with each other, and we were trying to navigate this crazy world, having endless options. And we we were brats, and I still am. I like to think that I am a little bit more well behaved, a well behaved brat these days. But at the time, it wasn't. I wasn't sure that we knew our priorities. We were very lost. Sophie had to navigate with fame and all that marketing and promotion of her music. And I was in my 20s, completely lost. I got out of a marriage of 7 years, and I changed career because I used to manage a metal band named Slayer, giant metal band, which is a complete different world. So um, my goal was to help her as much as I could to better her life with and offer everything I had, personally, professionally, to to navigate the craziness that she was going through and make it easier for her. Um, Although it was always, her road. It wasn't that I did not have much time to make decisions, and take the steering wheel. I feel like she was pointing the direction and I was driving, kind of situation. And the Grammys was actually difficult. It's glorious and an amazing experience, and everything this event is supposed to be, an event where you promote your music and you can actually use the platform to bring across some empowering messages, which I believe is what we were trying to do, showcasing our relationship, our identities, our love, our uniqueness. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie, on a personal level, it was very painful. It was not an easy period for none of us. For me, my mother was in the hospital and she almost died, and I received the call right after, and that was very stressful because
Mm.
I couldn't enjoy and celebrate anything because the matter of health, my mother's health, was so dominant in my headspace.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophie just got out of rehab at that time, and it was really harsh on her body to actually go outside for a simple coffee. Um, Imagine only having to do that challenging part of so many people. Sophie was not an extrovert; she was actually an introvert, and it wasn't easy for her to be exposed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so well, my next question is um what kind of legacy do you think Sophie left behind in the industry?
It was She changed pop music forever. She has an input in the history of music worldwide, and her input shaped the sound of every song we're listening to the radio right now. So that is major, as well as how carefully she built and developed, created this persona and the brand, or name it however you like, um, of Sophie, all capitals. It's amazing. She was so talented and a perfectionist. So the fact that Google is using her image to celebrate and pay homage, and the fact that she has such an artistry around her and like she has such hardcore fans is her legacy, that kind of legacy.
Yeah, thank you. Um, yeah. Um, what can you say about Sophie's vision in music? Uh, do you have any contribution to her music?
I did not. I do not play any instrument. I'm a party goer. I'm a music listener, but I'm not a creator. I'm not a producer. But I know that I did inspire her to write songs because she was really a real artist that would take your energy, take everything you were giving, and return, reflect who you are within sounds. That was magnificent because I could feel it. I could relate with the stories she was telling by making a track. So I feel we wrote lyrics sometimes, but they were like it was "You're for the summer." I did like one verse that I was saying rat tat tat tat
Yeah, yeah.
Atahiki or some like Pokemon
Or Damage
language.
Casito, yeah.
You know it.
Yeah,
You remember? What was it? Can you
yeah.
remind me? Rat?
Uh, Europe for the summer. I remember the uh, words in the end of this single. It was like
Yeah.
Damage Casito. Yeah.
That was my voice.
Yeah, I believe actually you
Sunscreen,
you actually
My
have,
Forever.
yeah.
Yeah, those were all songs written for me. Um, which Take Me to Dubai. That was very funny. That came out of like um, anything like toxic masculinity thing going on, where like um, it was very like cancelled Me Too thing. We would be like, what is that thing? Is this Take Me to Dubai thing?
No, actually, I think actually you have contribution to her music is actually the Transnation album.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. She wrote that in an island of Greece, just across Naxos. It's called Donusa, which means vibration. And it's said that in the ancient times, the island was notoriously known by gods to be vibrating, and that's why it took this name. And she was trying to challenge the frequency of that island and feel the vibration of the island and put it towards the end of Transnation by also putting some poetry about what is life about, and her ideas, which were things we were discussing in a peaceful setting with octopus, Aegean Sea, beaches. Yeah, Transnation.
Yeah. So, um, were there any Sophie tracks that you were uh, really inspired by?
To be honest, my favorite song was
You can say that.
Immaterial.
Oh, okay.
What
Uh,
do you want me to say?
do you have any favorite unreleased singles?
Yeah, all the songs, because you must understand, we were dancing to those songs for like 2 years on all over the world, and we were holding hands and we were making out in front of people. We were getting applauses, and we were on the top of the world. And that experience on its own makes the sound and the feelings and the stories one holistically. It's one thing. So the moment, at the end of her show, sometimes where I was coming out and we were all dancing and we were cheering and we were also inviting people from the audience to come on stage and dance to Immaterial, I think that is the highest peak of
Hmm.
the experience. So Immaterial to me is the my favorite song in the world in my life.
And were you there at the moment when she recorded material?
No, actually, I was not present when she did that. She wrote
Then,
that with Cecile Believe, I think, or Charlie or Kim. She was always working with the best. Bibi Borelli. She had her own. I wasn't in all her songwriting sessions.
mhm.
No.
uh, maybe she. I think Immaterial is the single that she wrote maybe uh, in 2015.
Yeah. She wrote a chunk of music, in her parents' house in Northampton,
Mm-hmm.
and Product is an album that took her 5 years to write.
Oh.
Um, and also like Oil of Every, Pearls on Insides was also something that took a long time. And I think she was fed up and tired of just being so a perfectionist about like getting it right, and it wasn't enjoyable anymore for her. I feel she was doing like prisoner's work, and she wanted also to live and make music that is more heartfelt and spontaneous and easy. So all the other tracks were really made so she can enjoy herself on tour.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you. What do you think of her approach to creating music and visual art?
that was all she was doing. She was obsessed. She wouldn't sleep. She
Mm.
wouldn't eat. She cared about her fans so much. And at any possible place you can imagine, she was with her headphones, with her mono machine, doing her magic, creating worlds, being in this pink cloud, and being inspired and writing. And her approach would she would live and breathe music and creating songs. That was her life. So her approach, her whole life, I would say, she approached life, and her life was creating.
Yeah. And who do you keep in touch with now? Who was Sophie involved with and creating music with?
Um, well, her brother Benny, first and foremost, who
Oh.
managed to Benny Long, who managed to put together the latest album, which I'm not very much supportive of releasing music after someone has passed away. However, the way that Benny took that responsibility, the devotion, the love, and the service, he was such a soldier to his sister, such a protector of that love they had, because they were family and they still are and they always will be. But you had such a close love bond since they were kids. Sophie was protecting her brother, her younger brother, and now her younger brother is returning uh, that protection by protecting her wish and her vision. And I'm 100% positive that that's exactly what Sophie would have wished to release, and that was where she was at and what she wanted to make at that point. And with the help of Penny, that happened because it wasn't ready. The tracks weren't ready. So I would say Benny is, you know, her family and her soulmate and the closest person she was ever with. And then she was always around many friends, but because she was always working, because she always wanted to create, but she didn't know what to do, she was collaborating. It was inevitable that you are hanging out with Sophie. You are going to do something together. You're going to make something together, and not in a capitalistic, uh, compulsive disorder way, in a very joyful, creative, uh, sexy way, I would say. So, Charlie was someone that she adored and she admired so much. She spoke so highly of Charlie, and she always said that Charlie is going to be the biggest pop star of our generation, and everywhere you will go, you will listen to at least one Charlie XCX song. And she was inspired by her. She was also very much inspired by Kim Petras, by A.G. Cook. I think like those people were the people where she felt proud of collaborating with. She was like, I have the luxury to be in the studio and write with the best.
Mhm.
And what we're doing with the best songwriters in the world. And she was so happy and grateful to be working with these people. And I don't think she ever had um, the time to share that with them because she was an introvert and she had all these feelings. She and there were all the dynamics and the politics and the industry and other things. She never really I think she never told even Charlie, Charlie, I love you. I think you're the best. I believe in you, and you helped me believe in myself.
Mhm.
Um, but she had shared that with me.
Okay, that's so breathtaking and it is so great. Did you have any dream or goal with Sophie if it's not a secret?
Well, while we were together, we were investing loads of energy and loads of effort towards a life where we would be together, we would live together, we would do things together, we would collaborate, and we managed to do that to an extent for a certain amount of period, and those were the happiest moments of my life. So I saw our relationship as a seed that we had planted and we were carefully watering. There was loads of trust uh, between the two of us, which I never felt was betrayed. Um, and I wanted to see that seed flourish, a giant, beautiful tree filled with flowers. Unfortunately, uh, it didn't happen, and it took me a while to accept that all those efforts and all those hopes just fell in the hole of broken dreams, and I failed. I did everything I had in my control, but some things are inevitable and are destined to happen a certain way, and I cannot change
Mm-hmm.
what's written for all of us. And uh, we eventually uh, broke up, and those things don't happen. And there was a lot of pain. There still is. Obviously, it's a very dark um,
Okay.
topic for the real friends and family that she left behind. uh, I choose to look at it now with more light, with more love, and I'm trying to freeze the emotions and the pain because it doesn't go away. You just learn how to live with it.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I feel, but there were painful moments while she was alive and while we're together and challenging. So I feel like we did loads of good things. We managed to do these tours. We managed to go to these awards, let's say, and she had these last years of her life, of her circle of life on Earth, where together I saw her in experiencing fame and glory and getting all the fruits and rewards for her hard work. And she was alive to experience that. Imagine if, you know, an artist doesn't get to see the fruits and the rewards of their hard work. So that's a good thing, and I'm glad she got an award. She broke it immediately, but I was there to feel her joy and to be joyful for seeing her happy. I wanted that. I wanted to see her happy.
Okay. Well, I agree that Sophie was a symbol of electronic music and exactly of hyperpop, and she gifted us an immense legacy that will enter history. Um, she inspired us, guided us through her sounds and the project she created. Um, we sincerely want to thank you, Zev, for noticing us and for the beautiful and valuable interview.
Thank you. You're very sweet.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye bye.